actually got in the show. Should be thrilled.
Each year, the band saves something special for the Dover-Philly game. This year, the band performed a show titled Fun, featuring music by the band Fun. Our last show of the year opens with Some Nights. The band keeps the fun going now with Tonight We Are Young. At this time, we need to reset the stage a bit. So while we do that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Red for a couple of thank yous.
Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you've enjoyed the concert so far. They did a pretty nice job, don't you think? I have a long list of thank yous because, as you all know, this does not happen by just the directing staff. There's just so much that goes into it. First and most importantly, before the tubs start covering him up, if you haven't noticed, I directed the alma mater, and then I went backstage, and I've just enjoyed this concert as a listener. Our drum major, Zach, I trusted him, rightfully so, trusted him to conduct the concert tonight, and he's taken on the load of doing that. How do your arms feel, Zach? They're a little sore already. All right, let's give him a round of applause for a great job tonight. He's the right guy for the job, that's for sure. Over here on my left, your right, I would like to say a special thank you to our announcer this year. You know, Gary Petricola has usually done that, and he did it a couple times for us this season, but Gary's really enjoying that Florida weather, and Todd graciously stepped in, and I think he's done a great job. If you've been to football games this season, you know. I'm sorry, doesn't he just get you going when he says, Script Ohio? Oh, he can say it again tonight if he wants to. It's awesome. It's awesome. So we thank him, and Todd has agreed to stick on it and be the voice of the Dover Marching Tornadoes for years to come. So again, thank you, Todd, very much. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our administrators, and I do want to thank specifically our Board of Education and our upper level administrators. Mr. Ham, our superintendent of schools, I'm sure he's here somewhere. Mrs. Carla Burney, the assistant superintendent. Our high school principals, Mrs. Carrie McCrate, Mrs. Gina Franks, and Mr. Dan Ift, who does double duty both as our dean of students here at the high school, and let me tell you from somebody who does lunch duty, he earns that check as the dean of students. Nobody messes with Mr. Ift, and he's also really a fantastic football coach, and I would venture to say a great supporter of our program. When I met Dan, he immediately started giving me the dirt on all of the other marching bands in the area, and I don't think there's too many football coaches that can do that. So when you see him, make sure to tell him, thanks so much for being a supporter. You know, we love what we do, we love supporting the team, and that's very much appreciated. Our Board of Education members, Mr. Steve Maston, the President, Mrs. Janine Kennedy, Vice President, Mr. Sean Immel, Mr. Randy Longacre, and Mr. John Maxwell. I know some of them are here tonight because I saw them. If you could give all the upper level administrators a round of applause. I can tell you that the support for the band program here is very strong, not only in the community, you know that, but also in the administration. They're very supportive. When I started, I asked them, hey, I could really use a sound system so I could talk to the band, and they said, let's make that happen. It's not a, we can't do that, it's a, how can we help you do what you do better? So we really do appreciate them. I do want to thank the junior high administrators and all the elementary school administrators. Believe it or not, we deal with them in the band program as well. Being so gracious, letting our 5th graders come over to the middle school every day for instruction, and the junior high just being so flexible with letting me come in and work with the junior high program along with Mr. Carrick. They do a great job. You have a great administrative team, so thanks to all of them. I want to say thanks to Jeff Mays. He's up there working the sound and lights. He was the one responsible for that awesome light show at the beginning. I didn't know that was going to happen until 5 minutes before the concert, but that was awesome. So thanks, Jeff. Our band booster officers, I would thank each one of them in person right now. They are amazing people, but I know that they don't do it for the glory. They do it because they love these kids. They love to support music education. They're the people that put this stuff together. You know, they help these concerts become a reality, and they allow the band to travel and participate. So if you have not yet thanked a band booster officer, take the time to do that and tell them, because it's a lot of work, but it's really very gratifying. So thank you to all the band booster officers. Our committee chairs. I'd like to thank all of them publicly for what they do. Not just the people that put on the fundraisers, like Laura Davis did tonight with the Rigatoni dinner and the Encore concert, but also the people that run every other fundraiser that we do, and all of the organizational things that it takes to run a band, from uniforms to long-term planning, you know, just to keeping track of, you know, shirt sizes. It's a huge job. So thanks to all of our committee chairs for a great fall season. You the parents. I know I'm talking forever. I'm sorry. You want to get back to your music. I do want to get through the list. You the parents. You know, I'm new here, but I can just tell that the support level is very strong here in the Dover Band program. So I want to thank you for what you do, supporting your children in music education. it's amazing. And I've had so much fun getting to know your students, and I just had a great time. Just had a lot of fun. Hopefully you can see it on their faces and in their performance that they're having a good time as well. So thank you for supporting your children. We really do appreciate that. The staff, you can clap if you want to. It's okay. I know we already introduced the staff, but you know, my name gets to be first. It shouldn't even be on there because all I do is wave my arms. It's the people. I didn't even do that. Zach did all that tonight, so pricing myself out of the job. It's really all the rest of the staff that does the heavy lifting. Starting with Julie, boy, if you don't see what a polished product this is down here, I've seen a lot of majorettes, I've seen a lot of those auxiliary groups, and ours is top notch. So thank you, Julie, for all that you do. We really appreciate that. They're hiding backstage right now, I think, but Micah and Shauna, they really are the lifeblood of this program. The amount of work that it takes behind the scenes, if you can imagine coordinating 136 kids, and right before rehearsal starts, somebody's alto saxophone falls into 15 pieces. You know, one of them steps aside and they work on that right on the spot, and they take care of all that stuff, as well as running music rehearsals and helping with, you know, learning the marching drill and things like that. So to Micah and Shauna, if you see them tonight, on my behalf, please tell them thank you. So they're backstage, but thanks very much. I want to thank the students on the stage. I know this is taking forever, I'm sorry. It's like an Oscar speech. They should start playing and get me out of here. The students really, they've done a fantastic job this year, and I'm not just saying that. You know, it's tough being a new director and having all that uncertainty with what's he going to do, how are things going to be, and they've just come right along. You know, they've been so willing to accept some new things and try some new things, and they've had a lot of fun doing it, I think. And they've made my job really easy. So I appreciate them more than you know. It's just been a blast. I love working with them every day. So thank you, students. Last one. Very special lady that if I left off the list, she wouldn't care, but I would, and that's Miss Wenzel. I didn't even tell you, knew, right? You know how amazing she is. I've learned how amazing she is over the last couple of months, but I saw it the day that I walked in, okay? Because I can tell you that, I mean, not just with the percussion, but she's a consummate educator. She's a great teacher. Now, this year she's staying on as our percussion instructor, which is great. She likes to kind of hang in the background, and she doesn't want to get all that recognition. And I've tried to listen to her and not do that for her, but now I have the microphone, and she just has to deal with it. See, she already ran away. She was back there. If you see Joan, you need to tell her thank you for her years of service to the Dover City Schools, and she continues to work with these kids and just make outstanding stuff happen. Which leads me to our next piece, okay? So when we got out the piece, Bang the Drum, I said to Miss Wenzel, I said, you know, we need to do something big. And I said to Joan, the sky's the limit. Now, I didn't realize when I said that, but she took that seriously, and lo and behold, all of a sudden, all these garbage cans start going missing around the stadium. And she comes in and she's got anvils and trash cans, and this just grew and grew and grew and became, I think, one of the highlights of the season. You're gonna see all kinds of neat stuff. I think it truly encapsulates what we do here in the Dover Band Program, and that's have a lot of fun making music for you. So, without further ado, I'm gonna let Zach get back to work. We're gonna play Bang the Drum. We're gonna have some dancing down here, some great percussion work up here. I'm finished for the evening, so I'm gonna go back and sip my lemonade. Thank you so much.
stage. Let's give them just one more round of applause. At this time, we'd like to recognize our senior band members for their dedicated years of service to the band. Please hold your applause until the end. Jeremy Bell, alto saxophone. Brendan Benekamper, percussion. Tasha Bleininger, trombone. Michael Blunt, trumpet. Emily Burrell, majorette. Samantha Burrell, percussion. Mark Davis, percussion. Devin DeMonte, piccolo. Emily Dickey, majorette. Courtney Douglas, majorette. Andrew Durbin, percussion. Andrew Fiegel, percussion. Alexandra Carnes, trombone. Kirsten Connect, sousaphone. Mary Maxwell, alto saxophone. Jessica Miller, piccolo. Zach Meridari, drum major. Caitlin Murphy, piccolo. Lauren Quartz, trumpet. Teresa Reneker, piccolo. Jennifer Rufner, piccolo. Justin Schneider, alto saxophone. Easton Shaw, trumpet. Ashley Sheneman, piccolo. Paul Shoemaker, trumpet. Kyle Swinderman, trumpet. Morgan Woodhall, clarinet. Andrew Yoder, trumpet.
Andrew, you rock!
And Tony Yosik, percussion. Please help me in thanking these seniors for their musical contributions, their leadership, and their service to the Dover High School band program. Before we leave tonight, we'd like to play our top 2 Stands tunes. These are Dover Band classics, Ain't Been Good and Tusk.
Okay, the band's gonna get up here. We're gonna have a lot of fun when we close this concert out with our Stands tunes. So band, you can go ahead and get up and get ready for Ain't Been Good. I did forget to recognize one very special group of people, and they would kick me tomorrow in 8th grade band if I didn't say something. Our Band-Aids, who did all that work while I was talking. You guys rock. Hats off, we'll put them in a second. And I know I must have messed it up. Jennifer Rubner plays trumpet, but that was the look of confusion on her face. It wasn't like, who am I? It was, what is this thing in front of me? So Jennifer's a trumpet player. This is Ain't Been Good and Tusk.
Thank you all for your support of the Dover Band program. And don't forget to order your CD of the concert before you leave tonight, right after you pick up your rigatoni dinner and your pie voucher. We close our concert tonight with our percussion section performing the marching cadences from the fall season. Thank you all for coming, and go Tornadoes!